Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another Destiny 2 video, this time with my face. How's it going? I hope you guys are doing well. Today's video, we're talking all about exotics, exotic weapons, what you should be chasing, what you should be grabbing out of the exotic archive, what you should be getting that is currently available to earn in the game. And this is especially going to be targeted for new light players, newer players, players that don't have all the exotics already, so that you know what to prioritize and what to go after in order to help your fire team and do lots of damage. Before we get started, I also wanted to mention that I am bringing the YouTube streams back here sometime soon, probably next month, because I am moving. So we've got a lot of that going on, trying to get everything together, but I will be bringing those streams to YouTube. So look forward to that. If you want to follow me on Twitter or join the Discord for more information on when that is coming, definitely do that. But let's get into it. We're going to start with the exotic archive first, the Monument to Lost Lights. You can come here. This is in the tower, just right by the vault. And there's going to be lots of different exotic gear that you can get from this kiosk. Now, these are all exotics that you used to be able to get, but the activity's since been vaulted in the Destiny content vault, which we all know and hate. And so you can go in here and you can purchase these if you don't already have them. Now, they're going to cost a lot of resources. So they're going to cost an exotic cipher, glimmer, some kind of destination materials, and an ascendant shard, or they're going to cost spoils of conquest, which is a raid currency. So whether or not you're doing raids, you can still get some of the stuff in here, and I'm going to show you which ones you should definitely go for. Now, as far as the destination material, obviously you can go around and pick the flowers from whatever planet that material is on, like data lettuce is from Nessus, so you can go over there and pick the material, or you can go to Spider and exchange material for other material or glimmer or shards and have that exchange rate. So definitely go over to Spider and change out your glimmer for whatever material he's selling that day if you have max glimmer. Max glimmer is 250k, so make sure you're always going over there. If you're doing a lot and you have max glimmer, definitely exchange it, or else you're just losing glimmer. In order to get exotic ciphers, you either have to get them through the season pass. So to get exotic ciphers, you either have to go to level 55 of the season pass, and that's going to give you one of your exotic ciphers per season right here. And then the other way to get exotic ciphers is to visit Xur on the weekends. He has his location if you want to go to whereisxur.com, or you can check in dim, it'll show you his location. You go over to Xur and you're going to complete the genealogy quest. You need to complete either strikes, gambit matches, or crucible matches. Either one of those three are going to give you points towards it. Then when you fill it up, you turn it back into Xur and you get your exotic cipher. You can either use that exotic cipher in this monument, or once you have all these exotics, you can then turn it into Xur in order to get a random exotic from Xur. All right, now that I've explained all of that, and now you know what you need to do to get the materials, to get something from the kiosk, let's take a look. Now, first up, I'm going to talk about legacy gear. I know this is not exotics, but I found it important to mention to you guys, especially if you're new players, because someone commented on one of my videos the other day saying that they purchased something out of here and they couldn't infuse it up to max level, because majority of these items here in this legacy gear are actually sunset, and they don't really explain that to you very well. If you're a brand new player, you wouldn't really know that a grayed out triangle here on the top means that it's sunset. So all of these legacy gear items, there's only one here, right? There are two in this legacy gear that you can actually infuse up to max level. And that's going to be the Point of the Stag right here. You can see it goes up to 1330 for this season, and the Fellwinter's Lie, which also goes up to 1330 this season. Everything else here has that white triangle, that gray triangle on the corner, which means it cannot be infused up to max level. So don't bother getting it unless you're going to use it in PvP. If you're going to use it in Crucible, not Iron Banner, not Trials, but if you're going to use it in Crucible, regular Crucible, where power advantages don't matter, then definitely pick it up. But If you're planning on using it for PvE, you do not want to pick these up because you can't infuse them and they're just going to clutter your vault. So you can see when we hover over it, it says that the power limit is 1060. You can actually get higher power limit because now our lowest power level is 1100 when you first start the game, but that means you can't infuse it past. So don't bother getting those unless you're super into PvP and you want to get Not Forgotten or Luna's Howl or something. I feel like those are really the only ones that you want to get for PvP. Maybe Python, I don't know. I'm not much of a shotgun player in PvP, but that's for another video. I would say out of these legendary items, Fellwinter's Lie is really great in PvP. If you want to use a shotgun in PvP, definitely pick up Fellwinter's Lie. Point of the Stag is a pretty good arc bow, but there are definitely other arc bows that will do the job just fine. So I wouldn't necessarily waste an Ascendant Shard and prisms on Point of the Stag if you are looking to get something else. I feel like the exotics are higher up on the list. So let's go to the exotics. So this is how we're going to do it. I am going to show you guys the top tier exotics from each of these sections that I think will be the best ones to purchase first. So in Red War exotics, the ones that I would say are really great exotics to pick up are Outbreak Perfected. We currently don't have the Catalyst available right now in the game because the activity that you ran to get the Catalyst is out of the game. So hopefully next season, they're going to bring out the Catalyst for Outbreak Perfected. I absolutely love Outbreak Perfected. It's a great weapon, but I have the Catalyst. But I would definitely recommend picking up Outbreak, especially if Pulse Rifle is in the artifact for champion mods. Another great one to pick up is Whisper of the Worm, which is actually getting a buff. So in December, which is coming up very soon, Whisper of the Worm is getting a 10% PvE buff. The White Nail refill is changing where you're going to get 1 bullet out of thin air and 2 from your inventory. And then it's going to reduce the delay on activating that Whisper breathing from 2.1 to 1.2 seconds. So Whisper of the Worm might be a really good one to pick up. So those are my top 2 from the Red War exotics. Let's head over to Forsaken exotics. Now in Forsaken, Ace of Spades is a really great pickup, top tier if you are using it for PvP. If you're not using it for PvP, meh. I'm not a huge hand cannon fan, as some of you guys know, so I would not really recommend picking it up as your first, especially if you're just starting to play Destiny. Last Word is another kind of PvP only type of weapon if you are on controller, even more so definitely keep that in mind. Le Monarch is an amazing weapon. I would definitely highly recommend picking up Le Monarch if you are playing PvE or PvP. It's great in both PvP and PvE, so I would highly recommend picking up this bow, especially if the artifact for the current season has bow champion mods, which this season we do have Overload. Next up is Jotun. If you want to make people really mad, then you might want to pick this up and use it in PvP, but it's a pretty nice weapon. I wouldn't say it's super meta for PvE. It might be a little more so this season just because of fusion rifle particle deconstruction, but it's more so a PvP weapon. Another really great and fun pickup is Thorn. It's a great weapon for PvP and PvE. The rounds are going to give that poison damage over time. So if you hit somebody with it, it gives you kind of that damage over time. It's a really fun weapon to use, especially if you're using it with Necrotic Grips, which is an exotic armor piece for Warlock. It pairs really well with that, and it's going to make that poison spread, which makes it really fun in PvE. Next on the list is Anarchy. Now this is the first raid weapon that we're going to be talking about, so it does take Spoils of Conquest to purchase it. So if you don't have Spoils of Conquest, don't worry, pick up something else. But if you do, or if you are running raids with your friends, I would highly recommend saving up your Spoils of Conquest to purchase Anarchy. It got a pretty big nerf this season, but it's still a really great weapon, especially if you're using it solo in solo lost sectors. It's great for stuff when you're under leveled because you can hit the enemy with it and then kind of go around a corner and you're not completely exposed while the enemy's taking damage. All right, on to Shadowkeep. First up, we're going to talk about Ariana's Vow. Ariana's Vow is a hand cannon with anti-barrier intrinsically on it. It's more like a big sniper rifle type of gun. I would highly recommend it if you're looking for an anti-barrier intrinsic. So like this season, we can only use auto rifle for anti-barrier. So it's nice to have another option like Ariana's Vow. It's a great weapon. I'm not super big fan of hand cannons, like I said, so it's not one of my go-tos, but I know people that swear by it. Bastion is another weapon that is really, really good and in the meta being a fusion rifle this season. So it is a primary fusion rifle, so no element, and it also has anti-unstoppable here. It'll stagger unstoppable champions as its intrinsic, so it's a great pickup for this season especially. Next up, we're going over to Witherhoard. Witherhoard is an amazing weapon to pick up. I would say top tier. This would be one of my top 3 picks for the kiosk to pick up. It's a great PvE AoE type weapon. Works pretty well in PvP too. And then finally, we're going to go over to Beyond Light exotics. Now, you can only purchase these if you have the deluxe upgrade of year 4. So if you have all of those seasons purchased. But I just wanted to go in here to highlight Tiku's Divination because it is an amazing bow and it's one of my favorite weapons to use this season. It's really great. It's similar to Trinity Ghoul, so you're going to get explosions, but you don't need to get the kills. It's a really awesome weapon that I love, and I would highly recommend picking it up if you do have that deluxe edition and you weren't able to get it during the season itself. All right, so that is it for the weapons in the Lost Light kiosk that I would recommend picking up. So depending on what you enjoy, definitely pick those up. As far as all of the other exotic weapons, you can go in here to your collections and see which ones you're missing or which ones you want to go out and try and get. For power weapons, I would definitely recommend doing the Shadowkeep campaign and doing Xenophage. It's one of the missions that you get there towards the end. Xenophage is always a good go-to weapon for raids and for boss fights and things like that. Another power weapon that you can go after right now that you don't need to purchase in the kiosk, you can actually just do a mission if you have Beyond Light, is going to be the Lament. The Lament sword is a great one to pick up. It's great for Deepstone Crypt raid for certain segments of that, and also just great because it has anti-barrier intrinsically on it. Obviously, if you're playing in this current season, definitely pick up the Lawrence from your season pass, and then also the Aegir Scepter from the Astral Alignment. Make sure to get all that before the season is over. You can also currently get No Time to Explain if you do the Beyond Light campaign. So if you do have the deluxe edition, you can also do the Presage mission, which is going to give you Dead Man's Tale, which is an amazing kinetic scout rifle to pick up. I know that mission and the Harbinger mission, which is the Hawkmoon mission, are going away at the end of this season. So they may go into the kiosk and you can pick them up, but they are tied to a season pass, so I think they're going to be similar to the Beyond Light exotics that are in the kiosk right now, where you're going to have that deluxe season pass in order to get them. Another good kinetic hand cannon is Malfeasance. This is also getting a buff in December, so this is one that you would get through Gambit. You have to basically defeat the Meatball Gambit boss, if you guys know what I'm talking about, the big orb in the sky there. If you get that boss and you kill it before the other team kills theirs, then you start the quest for Malfeasance. So this is going to be a really great one to try out after it gets its buff. You can also pick up a quest for the Chaperone. I believe there's a New Light one on the Cosmodrome, and then there's also one that I think you pick up from Amanda Holiday, but you can pick up that quest and it's going to either give you a PvP or a PvE version way of completing that. All right, I think I've covered most of the exotics that you can get just through doing like quests and DLCs and things like that. If I missed any, definitely put them down in the comments below. The rest, you're going to have to keep an eye on Xur and or your exotic engram drops. You may just get random drops in the world that are going to be exotic, and you can only get those, I don't know if you guys knew this, but you can only get those if you have Prime Attunement on. So it's basically a Prime engram that critically hit. That's what an exotic engram drop is. So that's a way to get more exotic engram weapon drops, is if you have prime attunement and then you're going out there and you're killing a lot of challenging enemies, so yellow bars and stuff like that, or crucible matches. So hopefully this video helped you guys out if you're a new player to Destiny, or you don't have a lot of exotics yet and you want to know what are some good exotics that I should really chase after, or what should I purchase in that kiosk. Hopefully this video helped you out. I've been having kind of a little bit of a video block lately, where I've been trying to think of good videos for you guys, especially for newer players, because I know Destiny can be very confusing and hard to get a grasp of, especially if you don't have a friend that kind of knows what they're doing. So if there's anything in the game that you guys would like to see, then definitely let me know. Like I said, I'm going to be moving over the next month and a half, so things might get a little crazy and hectic, but I'd love to make some videos for you guys on this topic while we have this downtime here in the next couple weeks before the 30th anniversary stuff comes out. And then also look forward to those streams starting up here probably in a few weeks to a month. I don't know, it depends how quickly we get settled in, but I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.